Hi there, it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more, worldwide TV entertainment, womenontv.tv, and iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. I'm not going to say a lot. I've got a bad situation going on with the recording on my end, so I'm going to leave this to Danielle. Danielle, if you can hear me okay, I'm going to have you introduce Donna with the beautiful hair.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. For those who doesn't know me, I am Danielle Martins, branding manager at Hasmark Publishing International. I am a branding specialist, and today we are interviewing Donna Laitinen. She is a behavioral change specialist and coach. She is also the author of the soon-to-be released book, Shades of Blue, which will be launched through Hasmark. And it will be an invaluable tool to help parents of children with the autism spectrum using the power of creative thinking and other techniques. And she is also the creator of Evoke Change Coaching. So Donna, welcome.
Hello. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so Brian, she's all yours.
So Donna, how did your book come about? What was most important for you for writing this book?
Well, that is, I was in a car by myself and I had a thought, and the thought was so direct, and it said I was going to write a book. Brian, I had never thought of writing a book. It was not on my list to do. And then I literally turned around to look at, I'm going to write a book. And within 15, 20 seconds, another thought came in. It was almost like a voice, and it said it was going to be a guide for parents, a parent's guide. And I'm like, what would I write? And, I'm looking around trying to see somebody else here. And then just like that, another thought came in, happened very quickly, and it said it was going to be a book for parents with children on the autism spectrum. And I just kind of accepted it. And I called a friend who has a son, a very dear friend who has a son on the spectrum. And I said, I'm writing a book on children on the, for parents with children on the autism spectrum. Would you help me? And without hesitation, she said yes. And I said, I think I'm going to need Jack's help too. And they both said yes. And I just kind of surrendered and accepted. And I went home and wrote table of contents, just poured out. And yeah, so it's been, I've literally fallen in love with this journey. And I'm literally watching my purpose take root through this.
So when you told your friends you were going to write a book, what did they say? Did they think you were nuts?
Yep. Yep. I didn't really have a lot of support or a lot of encouragement. Yep. But I have done a lot of inner work, and I have, I just had been searching for, I guess, waiting for my purpose to kind of show up. I kind of had that, I've been doing a lot of work, like I said, with creative energy thinking, thinking in a certain way and acting in a certain way, really just meaning thinking and acting from my heart space, as opposed to all that chatter in our heads. And I was able to flip that switch. And I think that's what I'm doing here with this book, is helping parents flip that switch from being in a maybe angry, dark place to the opposite, and not focusing so much on what our kids can't do, but what they can do. And our vibration, our energy has to do with the way the thoughts that come in and creates a feeling, and our feeling creates our energy. We're going to either respond to a situation or we're going to react. And it's a beautiful place when you get to a place of just being able to respond. And that's what we talk about, being centered and grounded. And that comes through meditation and yoga and progress over progression. Progress over perfection. I'm sorry. And that's what this guide is all about. It's all about, finding your hidden potential and responding, having control over your thoughts, auto-suggestion. So in a nutshell, it's helping people to develop the skills of meditation and yoga and gratitude and journaling and visualization, auto-suggestion. What we put into our mind is who we become. So it's awesome. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah. And it's also a very good tool for the children themselves, right? How it will help the children with the autism spectrum?
Yes. So, like I said, I knew I was going to need help with this book. So I've written the tool for the parent, because it's really the parent's energy that's going to ripple through and affect their children. So when they're negative and they're talking out of frustration and sadness and loneliness because their child can't, he doesn't, right. And thinking that we need to change them. So that energy is then feeds out into the family and affects everybody in the family. Yes. So I brought in, in the book, there's at the end of each mechanism, there is an example, insight, or strategy from a person. I have doctors, therapists, moms, dads, school teachers that all work with children on the spectrum. And they give an example of how to use the tool that I wrote to benefit their child. And yeah, so that was a key component. And I call it sharing in the extraordinary journey. Wow. And it's magnificent, how they're explaining and seeing how they can use my mechanism for the parent and then make it beneficial and impact the child.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about, sorry, please go ahead, Brian.
No, Danielle, go ahead.
No, it's because I'm intrigued with the title of the book. Can you explain a little bit how you came up with the title?
Yes. Well, I didn't have a title, and my publisher said, you need to, have a title. So I've had this practice of setting an intention and meditating and asking for what I need help with before I go to bed. And I just had all this energy early in the morning during this whole process, like 3 a.m, 4 a.m. I literally would have a pen and paper by my bed. And I remember getting out of my bed and going into into a spare room and just started writing. And the shades of blue popped into my head. And I'm like, the shades of blue. And I had taken a Reiki training course. And in one of the, it talks about shades of blue represents those with a frequency of pure love. So to me, pure love is self-love, right? You have to love yourself. Okay. So self-love to me means authenticity. So, those who are authentic. So what more appropriate than the shades of blue? Because our autistic community is, they don't change what they're going to say or what they're going to do to fit in with a group. They are who they are. They have, there are teachers too. And I just thought it was beautiful because, we're the ones who change our opinion because we're fearful that we won't fit into this group or somebody won't agree with us, or, we're the ones who manipulate. They don't. So they're authentic. So I just love that. And it all just tied in together. And yeah. So that was.
Thank you.
Donna, talk about this. It's all about energy. It's all about that flow. Reiki is very, very important these days. What makes you happy, and what do you hope these parents hope to achieve by reading your book?
They will achieve a lot of things. How to, get rid of that, their fears, their paradigms, their mental conditioning. They're going to be able to take their power back from all those beliefs that make them feel stuck. And I feel that there's a real shift going on, and the people who are going to be interested or attracted to this handbook, this guide, are going to be people who are ready to make that shift. They're ready to take their power back. They're ready to reinvent and reclaim themselves. And by doing that, creating the best version of themselves is going to give permission and allow their children to firsthand experience that. And they're role models. So it's all going to affect how the child
learn about the world, everything around them,
Right.
and about themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel that they are really being, that people aren't fully aware of how much the shades of blue, these kids, these people can influence our world with their greatness. And it's just there's a disconnect, and this guide will help close that disconnect, that gap between, that distance, that disconnect between kids with autism, special needs, and, the neurotypical. So.
Donna, when we first talked on the phone, when I called you, what was your first reaction? What were you thinking?
I was excited. I was thinking that you were put in my path for a reason. And it was funny because I didn't make the live one because on Wednesdays, I take care of my dad. So I usually I'm not able to attend the coffee chats. And then Danielle sent it to me. And luckily I clicked on it and watched your whole, you and I want to say Katerina were on there. And I just fell in love with you guys. I was like, oh my gosh, I was writing notes and I thought it was great. And then I wanted to talk to you, and you called me right away. And I was just, I felt like this was a way for me, for my message and my book and my voice to be heard on a much larger scale. That's what I'm hoping for.
And the reason why I asked that, because I'm all about helping kids who are autistic. When we start our Dreamweaver Ranch next year, it's about having those autistic kids connect with horses, and maybe having you as one of those speakers talk about your book and why that is really important to you, because it's important to me, as I talked to you about on the phone.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
So think about this. What makes you happy? I want to know what kind of music you like, and do you watch movies also?
What makes me happy?
Yeah.
Wow. What makes me happy is realizing that there is no box. Everybody says think out of the box, but there is no box. The only limitations we put ourselves is the only limitations we have are what we put on ourselves. So what makes me happy is helping people. It's not rocket science, helping people understand that and practice it, because it's, like I said, it's not rocket science. And I always say, if I can do it, anybody can do it, taking away those paradigms and constantly I call it going down the hole. It just brings me such joy when it's an aha moment for people like, oh my gosh, I do that. I make stuff up before it even happens that causes me stress. Like I worry about stuff that hasn't even happened. Those are illusions. And we go down the hole with those and they make us stressed and sick and can turn into depression. And, you know, if you stay in that kind of baseline and you recycle old thoughts and yeah. So when people know that they have the control to stop that, because we do have control, our conscious mind is adductive and deductive. And we are just on autopilot so much, we just let everything come in and it causes a feeling. And then we've got chaos, you know, and we're not grounded. We're swinging from one end of the pendulum to the other, emotions everywhere. And it's hard to make decisions. It's hard to have confidence. So really it all starts with understanding how the conscious and subconscious mind works. And I love teaching people and coaching people on that. And it's truly a game changer for people.
So what music do you listen to and what movies do you watch?
What movies do I watch? Honestly, I watch anything. I'm definitely more of the happy ending movies or the, you know, ones with a really good Hallmark, good, I like suspense too and all that, but I'm not drawn towards any of the, you know, like murder ones or, I don't know. I'm definitely,
Crimes.
yeah. You know, the fantasy ones, the dreamy ones with, there's a lot of movies out there right now that really are speaking to what, you know, believing in the invisible, having that faith, having that journey. I love documentaries. I do a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, you're a Hallmark Lifetime girl. That's what you are.
My husband can't stand it.
No, because they're true life, they're happy, go feel life films. No, he wants the action and adventure. No, you want the fantasy, the happy ending type things.
And I know I do enjoy those movies. I understand that what I'm watching before I go to bed or what I'm saying or doing before I go to bed, that vibration that I'm in before I go to bed is the vibration that I'll wake up in the morning. So if I watch something really horrific, it, you know, it doesn't settle with me personally. That's just me. And then when I wake up in the morning, I mean, I could have had dreams about, and I do that. I replay that. And then I'll get up in the morning and it'll be different. So yeah, it's almost like my body's telling me, you don't want to watch that movie because, you know, I'm tucking my head because I don't want to see that part. So it's definitely the, you know, and I when things don't turn out my way, I don't get upset about it. I know that it's just that something better is meant to come. And that's a technique that I use to keep my energy elevated, is just knowing that there's, oh, you know, that was a learning lesson. What did I get out of that? Rather than why me, poor me. And these are the kind of things I teach and coach on in this guide.
Hey, Danielle, when's her book coming out?
Could you repeat, please?
When is her book coming out?
Please tell Donna, answer this question, Donna.
Hey, Donna, when is your book coming out?
Well, it's actually, I have a meeting tomorrow to go over the timeline. I'm thinking, I don't really know. This is waiting for the editor and so forth. We're working on the cover, but probably a few months.
Are you excited?
I am so excited. And my vision for this is to be globally, to be in the homes and finding its way in the hands of, you know, parents consciously being aware, learning to be aware of their inner self, their authentic self. And I visualize this guide being in government-funded programs and seminars and conferences for parents, you know, that go to these seminars and things to have this guide. I see that.
Okay, last question on here. What would you say to inspire parents and kids with what they're going through now? What would you say to inspire them?
I would say this guide will bring out that light and help you develop the skills to become the person that you want to become, to get rid of all the junk and bring in the freshness and the, and making a better you, being the best version of you. And there's no limit. There's no limit. And being the best parent, when you're the best version of you, that's just automatically going to happen.
Exactly.
It's all ripples from you. As you create the best version of you, you're allowing and giving permission for your child to see that and live that and know that they aren't in a box either. What they have to say matters. What you have to say matters. It's important. And it's a message that needs to be heard, to be read, to be learned.
And last question.
It's a collective. Yep.
Give your social media links for everybody to reach out to you too.
Okay. I'm on Facebook, Donna Laitinen, and I'm on Instagram. It's all under Donna Laitinen. Oh, and Evoke Change. And my website is donna@evokechange.life.
And Danielle?
That's my email.
My website is daniellemartins.com. Across social media, Danielle Martins everywhere. And you can also find me at hasmarkpublishing.com.
And with that, I want to thank everybody for this because I kind of have a surprise for you, Donna. I'm going to tell you in a minute. So as I always say, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Donna Laitinen. This is Danielle Martins from Portugal. And we will talk to you next.